I ask a question? How is that working out for them?
After a couple of years, I think even just after 1 year, he was just ended up hanging out with Ugandans and things like that.
We have a sad state.
Didn't materialize.
We have a sad state. We have these things happening in our societies, and maybe for us, we are still young, so we think, yeah, that's not our business. But we have a sad situation where someone, one of our own, like say countrymen, died, and then they had to make an how can I say, they take it around in groups to ask, does anyone know this person, and how can we help them to locate them so that we can get them back to their home country. And when this the end of this story comes to the fact that, like, what I heard was, it's because they never used to like to associate with their countrymen. And then you end up in a situation like that we have to look for who knows who so that we can connect you back to your people. So if that's the goal, I don't know if that was the goal, but we need to keep into consideration when we are doing these things, that there's only so much people who do not know you from where your roots come from can do for you. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, for some reason we're all so yeah.
Yeah, you might be right, because actually, like I said, we're all social beings, and then we all need that sense of belonging. At some point, you have to know also your role towards the building of these communities we are in. Because if you don't do that, then in any case you're in a situation, because I mean, we are not heroes that we're going to juggle life alone. So sometimes,
but still
but I think sometimes the only solution, in my way of looking at issues, this is what I tend to say. When people say, na Uganda Bantama, my fellow countrymen are not doing this and this and this, I always say this, that Bantama is because you've not taken time to identify or classify the types of friends I should associate while I'm penetrating my spheres of life. In social life, who are the friends I need? What time should I give them? When it comes to work, who should I need? But the problem is, most of us, we circle ourselves with friends who don't elevate us, and then we put the same category, a social category, into the work-related. That's where I think problems come in. So, Jovia, you stated something in the beginning that identifying, evaluating yourself, I think should be a key while we are trying to look at how to solve the friend zone element. Identify yourself as you know who are the people or the types of people I'm dealing with, so that it can help us to smoothly run through these communities, because it's also our responsibility to build a community. The communities we're in Europe here, it's like a system, actually. You see a vehicle you're in, Mr. Benja, without a steering, it can't go. And without maybe the tires, it won't move. Without the engine, it won't move. So I think we just need to find where we can, hook in the community system, so that we can be responsible in the roles, and then we take away that aspect. Probably that's why maybe our brothers, the Somalians, are doing wonders in this line, and also the Arab community, they're doing wonders. We normally don't put in much effort into contributing to our society, but we take the negative path. On that take, I would like to thank also the Gothenburg Swedish people for the spring summer party they made yesterday. It was really marvelous. That's the way they're building communities. And before you know it, they come back to our... You had something to say? You're the toxic people we're trying to avoid here, the likes of dangers. But anyway, I would like to thank the Gothenburg people who did a spring family party. It's how they're contributing back to their community. And before you know it, networks are there. So my question comes back now to the viewers. What's your role into the community before we demand for a friend zone that can help us to go into the path of our success? What have you done? Sometimes even we blame our friends. What about we ourselves? Are we so good? Maybe we're toxic. It's a reflection to the viewers. But away from that, Mr. Benjamin.
Sorry, Snuggy. Ugandans, we are very organized people. But we cannot organize ourselves.
Which is true.
Yeah, for example, I'll tell you, like, I mean, one of the most, God forgive me for saying this, one of the most chaotic people I've met on planet Earth are Somalians.
Yeah.
Naye bakuba gwanga muje teri asigala. Naye ffe Ugandans were very organized, tujja kwogera academically biki naye tutuuke mu execution. Tolabawo n'omu. Buli omu ng'afunye ekyokukola. Kyokka nga mwabidiscussinze biki tugenda kukola naye olutuuka raising hand, who's going to do what? Buli omu ng'atandika nze ngenda kuyonsa nti ate nze bankubidde ku mulimu nti ate kati nze ate omwami yaŋŋaana okubeera n'Abannayuganda nti ate oli kugamba byonna ne bibeera weebityo naye nga n'ekirala oluusi ekitwafectinga, we don't have the numbers. When you look at Africa as a continent, and let's say, let's give an example of Belgium. Ugandans tetuwera na tugambe na, I don't think we are, maybe now we are slightly above Omutwaro. Scattered all over Belgium. Belgium a country is a very low population. Where I think now 12 million people in Belgium. Naye Ugandans tulinga mutwaro gumu gwokka. Naye woolaba aba Nigeria kumpi buli nsonda gy'oweta waliwo mu Nigeria. Abanagela
they have greater chances of them
Kenyans, Tanzanians, Somalians, Eritreans bonna bangi bazibu naye ffe Ugandans omala kuvuga hours 2 ogenda okukyalira mu Uganda.
Then make use of the social media friendship zone. Anyway, Jovia, it's a wider discussion which needs a lot of reflection. If I come to say something very little, that if you look at, I want to base back now to the Ugandan community because it can be maybe resourceful. Does the level of your education affect the friend zone as you achieve your goals? Or the level of the people you associate with, would it also affect you? Because we found most times people say...
Sorry, correction. Mbadde njogera figures si mutwalo. Lukumi.
Okay.
Si mutwalo. I made a mistake. Omutwalo gubeera mungi. Lukumi.
I get it.
Like about 8 years ago, I think the embassy made a count and we were about 500. 8 years ago. 500 in the whole country.
Actually, here in the Scandinavian, Sweden is one of the countries which has a lot of many Ugandans. And sometimes I ask myself why they didn't put the Ugandan embassy to be in Sweden. It's funny, but it's here in Denmark, which, you know, controls the whole 5 countries. But anyway, go back to...
For the interruption, I just needed, I don't want people to start misquoting me. It was a figure mistake.
No, okay. Jovia,
yes,
we tend to have, I was looking to the education aspect.
Yes.
Your level of education, all the people associate with, does it also affect your way of, you know, maneuvering with life?
Thank you for the question. I don't know if we should base the evaluation on just the economic, the educational level, because there are so many levels that determine how you're going to fit into a society.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm not the panelist. So let's try and discuss the question that you brought it. Based on your education level, it should in a way help you to find a niche to start with in society.
Oh yeah.
But it should not be the reason for you to stay. It can give you, because you have come with certain values, it could help you identify people with those values. However, that doesn't mean that because you haven't found people with that particular set of values you're looking for, that you cannot relate to them in another way. Yes, I don't know if I've made myself clear that most times the people that I have gained a certain level of education are thought of or seen to carry themselves in a way that seems superior to others. And for that, they could be rejected by society, because it is very hard. I am speaking from experience. It's very hard to find, like I said, our sample space is small, to find people that have the same educational values like you do in our small sample space. We're already small. And then to find the ones that have exactly what you have. You might even, there are so many other examples of niches that we find, like you might want to look for a Christian, you want to look for a Muslim. Those niches are also small compared on what you're looking for, but educational relationships. Abatasoma tebannaboogerako naye anti muba mwasoma ku level gye mwatuukako. Naye oyinza like okunoonya omuntu ayakoma ku level yennyini gy'oyagala. It's going to be, it's a tricky situation because we are a small pool. That's why I went back to I began by saying it shouldn't be the only reason why we are associating. Because if you put yourself in that situation where you say, no, I'm only looking for people that are in my same educational level, or we won't associate, then you're treading on a very thin ground, my friend. Because you might find them, but they might not like you. You know, you might find them, but you might not be able to provide what they need. You might find them, but you may not be able to relate to them. You yourself, you might say that, okay, this box is ticked off, but the rest of the things are not ticked off. Will I be able to associate with them? So in my experience and knowledge that I have gained, I want to believe that you have to use more than one niche to define yourself as an individual. Yes, I might want to better myself in the educational background, but I can meet people in other values, set of values that we share that might help me get there. However, I don't believe in using it as the only means of evaluation.
Wow, I like the way you actually simplify things which seem to be hard, and also running away from the core issues in order not to be toxic to your friends. But all doing a great one. I didn't know today, Benja, you've been not reliable. Actually, Benja, in a joking way, let me ask you something little. Why do female gender, why does it really lose a lot of friends as compared to the male one?
I think maybe because they act more emotionally than logically. I don't know, probably. Because for our subject to know more logical sense of it, at our child overreacting are always out of emotion. So,
and looking in your friends zone, have you lost more male friends, or you've lost female friends?
I don't have so many female like friends close, but the female friends I've had them for years and years and years, and it is really, really, it's not like a close communication, but we have our code. When we meet, You never did anything to me. We're good and we'll look out for each other. It's not that ntino banja kumutextinga mukubire ate tukole kino, but it's a friendship that is it's just a bond. Obanjite bond. Kugamba, we are not so much in contact, but we understand that we are friends.
Oh yeah. I like that. Sometimes, you know, we are also not so ready for friends, and then we claim that we are in the friend zone. Anyway, Jovia, you concur with him that actually, let me just rephrase the same question to you. Why do ladies really, you know, choose, you know, they do a lot of dynamics in terms of friends. Why do they lose friends so fast as compared to the male gender?
I didn't ask this question at the beginning of the show, but if a question is presented and I am not if I don't feel very comfortable answering it, am I allowed to pass?
You can pass it back to me, maybe.
Because that table you're shaking is really shaky. But I also agree with Benjamin that our relationships are emotional.
Yeah.
We are not very logical, or most of the people I say. We are not very logical, and it has affected how we make these friendships. And along from my I will, if I speak for myself, I really don't. If I'm calling it success, I haven't been very successful in making very many female friends. I do make friends, I do make female friends, but maintaining them, the cost is high. The cost of living is high.
The cost of living becomes high.
In terms of time, high.
In terms of
and when he said that, I was also here evaluating myself, and I actually realized that they are very emotional, and I'm a very logical person. And I've also understood that not everyone wants to deal with life in a logical way, which is okay. But I also don't want to live with life in an emotional way. You know?
I get it, yeah.
Because one day,
it's painful to live life in an emotional way.
No, they enjoy it in a way. They have their certain level of enjoyment. They will testify to it. We can't speak for them because we are not relating in that way. But then I say another way that is because they are basing their relationships on emotions. The level that we talked about, these circles of friendship. These circles are thin. Like it's easy for a female to have you in from the outside circle right into the inner circle in a split of a second. It's very easy, which might be harder for the males to do it. And then also for the males, like when you're in the in the inner circle, you're really in. Like it's not, you don't just flip. They don't just flip these circles as often as we do. But the fact that we easily let people in also makes it easy for us to let people out. So that exchange of energy makes the situation very hard.
Wow, what a discussion. As a reminder, I would love also to go back ahead by letting know people who have just joined in live on Facebook, yes, and then those who are in the YouTube, please, you're really doing a great work. Really do appreciate. Keep on sharing, and give your comments so that we can share. The more we share, we learn from one another. That's what we call the Euro connection. We connect from one another. Here on the panel, we are connecting differently. I'm from Denmark. One lady, Jovia from Sweden, and then Benja from Belgium. Then in the technical team, another one is from Uganda, Gibson, and then we're having also Mugisha hidden somewhere. Mr. Mugisha, if you're live, please, if you have a little into chipping, you can always come in and then say something little about the same question. And this goes to you, Mr. Mugisha, just in case you're still alive in your hiding zone. My question is, how do we end a friend zone to make room for our personal growth or professional growth? Mr. Mugisha, if you're there, okay. I streamed live, but okay, it makes a lot of sense. I've got some feedback from him. But let's go back to something not very so much sensitive, but quite a thing of reflection. I'm seeing that when we go back to the topic, we're looking at the interests, our interests in line with the friends we're having. I'll say, as we grow up, interests tend to change, meaning that even the jobs, when we attain certain jobs, the interests of the friends we tend to have also changes. Relationships. I've been friends with Jovia for a long time. She gets married or I get married. So I'm taken up by the partner I've gotten. So no more time for that. But it comes back to this. How do I leave these friends, which you've already answered? But to the question we had, have they been so helpful? I want us to look at the positive side of it by examples. Jovia, in your friend zone, for example, I'll strategically be in Uganda. Give us the positive side of it. How have you seen the community you've been in to be resourceful to you? Or the friends, I mean, how have they been resourceful to you?
Here in Uganda or Sweden?
It doesn't matter, but let's look at the friend zone in the diaspora. How have they been actually been so beneficial to you?
Yes, thank you very much, Smogi. I'm very, first of all, let me be grateful to my friends out there if they are ever watching this show, that I am grateful for your friendship. I know I'm not not easy to deal with, but you have dealt with me. So yes, this is a word of gratitude to you. And then on top of that, I would say that I have elevated myself as a person, and I cannot take this credit entirely. I give this credit to my friends. And like I don't know if I can call it blessed. I was blessed, but it was also hard work to find them, that I found people who align with the different values that I was looking for. But I needed help in an academic field, and I found those people that helped me elevate myself there. I needed people to help me in my parenting field, especially the fact that we are dealing with a different system altogether. It was hard navigating it. I found people that helped me there. I needed people to help me get into the working sector. Of course, I found the negative energy there. The negative energy might be a lot, but I also did find the ones that helped me. And I've also made friends that have helped me maintain a meaningful social life in this environment. Yes, I am a product of all those people, and I'm very grateful for that. I cannot say that I just said I met all of them in one place. No, it's been hard work. That's why I said I'm grateful for them, because we've worked for where we are, and I know they know that they mean what they mean to me.
Wow. Yes, and to those who actually were watching, we're dealing with a question that says, do the friends we meet in the diaspora shape the path to our success? Yes, as compared to Jovia, she's saying it right. Yes, she has seen a lot of the friend zone, or the friends who have really done wonders in her life. Even though we've been talking also the other side, that those friends who are toxic, and then how do we deal with them is an issue, and then how do we get rid of them? We've been discussing all that in the first encounter, which we had in our first part, but not to leave it out, I would also love to take it back to Mr. Benja in the positive side of it. We've seen that in the diaspora, we can't stand alone. I mean, there are people who have done wonders to you. It doesn't matter whether you academically high, but we're living in the diaspora socially, economically, and then politically, which, yes, political, I think I'll go back in the, should I look at the immigration bit of it? Yes, because we've got an advice from people so that we can see how we can stay. Mr. Benja, with do you see any positivity in the friends on your path of success that have helped you, or you a one-man soldier in your success?
Of course, there's nobody who's ever made it on their own. Naba bagamba self-made yabo. I'll tell you, to be honest with you, to survive in Europe, you need help. Help not from only Ugandans. Actually, for me, I got little help from Ugandans, but I got a lot of help from other people, Africans, Belgians, and things like that. But we also have a system that is very well structured, that if you need help, you know where to find help. There is always a place for that. So that also is a very organized system. It might be a bit slow, but you'll always, if you want to find out how you apply for a university, in your own district, in your own city, there is an office with people employed to help you with that.
Wow.
Benjamin, but did you also realize that even with this information, that its availability might not be easy to access if you don't know the people. There are some things I found out after staying. How can I say that? For example, when I joined this society and then I started learning the language, it took me a whole year to know that the course I actually wanted to pursue did not require me to learn the language. But after I had done language for a whole year.
Oh yeah,
That's how bad information flow is in our societies. That's how bad it is. And if I didn't get into the right circles, probably I would have also done another year before I know that I'm on the wrong path.
To deviate you from what we're talking about, I'm going to circle around, but I just wanted to ask, in the Scandinavia, to do any course, do you need to learn the language first?
It's a yes and no. There are courses that require you to learn the language, and that's the information I had received. But then there are also courses that don't require you to learn the language.
Okay.
Yes. So it also it's a
just
yes
an
and
addition.
no.
It also depends on which type of Scandinavian country you're talking about, and the courses which are there. You may find that in Denmark, most of the courses, they are in Danish. Those who are there are limited. It's going to cost you now to go back into learning the language so that
Does the government pay for it?
Sorry?
Does the government pay for it?
Then that comes into your status, your status. If you're just coming from Uganda direct because of education, yes, you're not supposed to be paid. But people like maybe us who have already settled here, you have to find ways of how to. Government has an upper hand in how to do it. But I love the way you tried to play this in the friend zone, also your initiative to find out by yourself as you go in your path of life, because the systems here, they avail you, they enable you to reflect they simplify it as compared to way back home, where you have to have a technical know-how as you have to penetrate into the system. But here, they try to make it easier, even though it may be difficult, but I can also concur with you. Not also forgetting, Jovia, what you've said, sometimes overconfidence is bad. If we don't communicate with others, if we don't get information from others. Jovia, you mentioned something connected. Someone, was it died? And then there was a situation because he wasn't so much contributing back to his own community. I also find it reflective in a way. I've seen situations also here in Denmark where someone has lost someone, and then people are like, who is that one? So much as we are trying to go into our path of success, we have to go into the categories of friends and give them some time. And also we contribute a little into the community, because at some point, the problem might not be academic, or it may not be job element. It might be something very sensitive and it's a social, it's a home thing. You're in a crisis of a divorce or you've lost someone. How do you start if you've not been for example, death. How are you going to start? It's a tricky thing, but we have to be involved in the society way of looking at issues. But all in all,
sorry, Uganda, of course, a death, that's something else. Ugandans tumanyi okusonda amabuga ekyo kyo tekiriiko yadde neddakiika. Omunnayuganda osobola omusaba corona 5 n'agaana ozikuwa naye n'ofa n'azisonda ku mabuga. Naye ng'ate obadde omulamu ozimusabe n'azikuma.
Actually, also that one is a little bit another one.
Yeah.
Because it comes with trust issues.
Zimuwe.
It comes with also trust issues. Some of us have been hit by snakes. So once we see a rope, it can be something questionable. So yes, what you're saying is right. What you're saying is right. Na incidence here, death is really hot. That it's a must thing you have to do because you never know.
Abazungu death tebagikulirizanga life. Why do you put so much importance on death when you don't put so much? What is more important, death or life?
It depends on how you look at issues and where you're coming from. Too, you're fusing two uncoordinated things to work together. We are Africans, immigrants, who have different tasks and everything. So the way we look at issues may be different. That's according to my perception. But Abazungu you're talking about, already they have a base before they start. For us, we're starting our base from here. As in the way of living, we started from here. They've lived. I mean, they've prepared for them. So the way they look at some issues, I feel relating to what they do, it's tricky.
Okwogera ne kugondi ku oba divorce omanyi oluusi Ugandans were a bit harsh on people who divorce or people who are divorced. That when you are in such a situation, omukyala nga anobye oba omusaya nga anobye, people are not so quick to help you. Okiraba. So even your friends sometimes will think, I don't mind kati naddala for abasajja, when there is a divorce or a separation, febe basooka okusongamu oluno. Nti oyo tumumanyi oyo n'eri yalemwa naye n'alemeddwa n'empapula zamulema okufuna. It's really harsh,
Mr. Benja, you might be right, but also it depends on the nature of problems we encounter. That's what I would say. Divorce issues and how we can call in our friends to help us to maneuver through that is also different to be handled. You know, like they say, issues of lovers, there's some problems come and then they differ. The handling also differs. Death situation differs from the problems of divorce or maybe also employment, other social issues. But all in all, for me, what I'm trying to mean is while we're looking at the friend element into our angle of success, the quality of, the component of understanding and to be understood should be a little bit crucial. But also identifying yourself, because the more you identify yourself, it will be easier for you to know how am I going to deal with certain people of this category. Otherwise, as we're almost coming to an end of this discussion, I would also try to confirm more about this. On the 3rd of June, we shall be having a Uganda Matters Day in Copenhagen, here in Denmark. It will be at Parkvej 109 Nevest, and the chairman, Polo, will be with us tomorrow. We shall be having a Luganda session talk show tomorrow with also Mr. Chibalama Mutesa tomorrow. It's going to be a Pentecostal day. A Pentecostal day, I think here some countries really do have it as a public holiday. Tomorrow is a public holiday in Denmark and also in Norway. I don't know how is it in Sweden?
In Belgium, it is, we call it Wittemanda.
Yeah, it's also Whitmande here. Actually, we call it Whitmande, but I was taking it in English, Pentecostal. Yeah. Also, actually, in Belgium, Norway, they're having the same, but I don't know in Sweden. Are you having a public holiday?
Actually, must struggle.
I understand. You're not religious at all.
No, that's the funny thing is that they really do. I don't know. I stand to be corrected, but I was in Germany last week and they're having the public holiday on Monday. And then also I've heard the UK have that public holiday, but I don't know what's happening with us. I don't know why, but we are very religious people. We keep all those things. Ascension Day, we are free on those days.
Oh, they remain in church, but they don't
might have missed us.
You know, countries which are based on religion, probably they still go on and carry on that, whether they religious, norms, and they become very valid. Because like last time we had the discussion of the Easter session, I was telling people that a country like Denmark, they look at, they don't go to church as such, but Christianity is something they respect. So some issues, they take them public. But away from that, let's have a wrap up of this. And by asking a simple, very, very, very simple question. All said in this discussion, we've seen our friends off the hook from their goals. How often do we check our friends to let them also go on their goals? Do we have to go away if we become toxic? When we realize that you have a friend and you think he's going somewhere, we find it easy to let them be. Benja.
Unfortunately, it doesn't entirely depend on us. It also depends on them, whether they are willing to receive the advice or not. So the best you can do, you as a friend, is to identify to them that, bro, you're going wrong on this. You need to check yourself. So
are you bold enough if it's flipped?
People, I think some people, even here in my community, some of them don't appreciate my boldness, but I do call a spade, and if somebody farts, I say you farted, as simple as that. I don't believe that Bajita, how do that's concealing of concealed kugamba oli omuntu nga tasobola kugamba kintu straightforward. For example, Smoggy, if you maybe you get with the wrong crowd, let me say, and then you start skipping work, and then you start being sick all the time. I'm sick, I'm not going to work, and then eventually we find out, no bamukute naye simanyi bamutwaza kagudde. And then you start not paying rent, and then start not having money all the time. You start calling people, can you help me? Can you help me? And you will appreciate somebody who comes to you and tells you, Smoggy, here is 1,000 krona, but the situation is like this. Are you sure you want to go down that road? Don't you think you need to change your situation? Because from here on, it only gets worse. If you can have that boldness, then I think you will lose many friends, but you will make many friends.
Lady Jovia, I'm flipping this in the other angle. How do you, okay, let's first go back to Mr. Benja.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. My question was very simple. Let me just flip this into a situation where you see my friends have been toxic to me. Are you so bold enough to let them know that, okay, guys, I'm done. I need some space. But how do you do that?
Thank you, Smogi, for that. That's actually it's a very tricky thing. Like Benjamin has said, it is tricky, but it's a two-way traffic. To say that I am very bold, I've also accepted that there are some things that I'm nakuzibwa bulungi. Simanyi kwatulira. But I will try and get into, how can I say it? Like I've been saying all throughout this whole situation, evaluate the situation. Like I say, like Benjamin said, it's not only the person that is toxic. I could have gone wrong along the way, but yeah. I put our relationship up into scrutiny, and I ask myself, what did I do that might have triggered this? Or what happened that might have triggered this? Was it my doing? Was it the other person's doing? Is it something that we can ignore and live by? Or if we're not ignoring it, I go back to the circles. Can I just keep this person in another niche where we can still socialize and then, like see if we can grow from that? Like it's levels. It's not, we don't just go out. I don't think I've had situations where I just up and go, but I've also had situations where we completely lose the communication. And I know that it takes time. Like for me, in that taking time, I feel like an evaluation is done on both sides. If I say that I might put the person in an outer layer, but for me, they might throw me out. So like you might say that I am your friend, but are you my friend? We have to ask ourselves those questions. So if me pushing, like making the changes in our relationship makes it look like it's no longer serving you, that's also okay. We move on. That is how it has usually been happening, that it is a phase thing. Sometimes actually people move out of the circle and then they come back. Yeah, it's an in and out situation. So, but I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm going to call you up and I say, okay, we're done. No, I'm not that bold.
You remind me of this.
You're
the likes of people. You're the likes of people who go for songs like the songs of these Spice Girls, where they say never end, friendship never ends.
By the way,
maybe I had something.
Even me, I would never call somebody and say I don't want to see you again.
But what you learn? What you learn from?
I'll always call to try and make things better.
Okay.
If that approach doesn't work, give him time.
Yes, that's the thing. Or you like you said, you can reduce your interaction with this person. If we used to go out 3 times a week, we can say, okay, no, I'm sitting this one out. That's why I'm saying, like, we didn't talk about, I didn't get an opportunity to talk about something, but one thing that I also have added on to my list of evaluation is emotional intelligence. Emotional hygiene, not emotional intelligence, it's emotional hygiene. Many of us lack emotional hygiene. People do not know how to regulate their emotions, and because of that, they are making that work your responsibility. I am not in a position to mother any more than I have given birth to. If you cannot recognize that there's work to be done, I'm better straightforward.
Naye wano Jovia mpozi nga todiringa n'abazungu. Abazungu balina ekizibu.
Anti era ky'obalaba nti nkugambiddeyo nti wekigaana. By the way, when it comes, my people, you're favored in these circles. Outsiders are not favored in these circles. For them, the bar is set high. You don't have emotional hygiene. It is very rare that you will come in here. Because I'm also battling with my own issues. For you to bring for me white issues, it's just a whole different language I may not be able to speak.
It's true.
You know? So we need to, at least some levels need to be obtained before we even start interacting. I can't be with a person who every time I don't call them after 30 seconds, they are crying and cutting themselves and saying it's over. No, you know, there are some things that we have to put down. So for me, emotional hygiene is very, very important for me. You need to know what you're dealing with and be able to put a thing to it. If you have issues with yourself, you can tell me, Jovi, I can't hang out with you because I'm battling X, Y, and Z. You don't even have to tell me, but don't just say, you guys didn't reach out to me when I had problems, so it's over. I don't do witchcraft.
That's why I'm drinking every day, because my friends abandoned me.
You call her, you know, they tell you that they say your friend said you abandoned them when you the owner of the crime doesn't even know.
Emotional responsibility. You call it emotional
hygiene.
It's emotional hygiene. Learn how to regulate your emotions. Know what you're going through, and don't bleed on the people that didn't hurt you.
So it comes back to actually to what I was trying to mean, that in the friend zone, let's be understanding and let's also try to be understood. So probably our path of success can be easily, I mean, at least we can achieve whatever we want to achieve.
I appreciate Ugandans so much, because you don't have so much of this this emotional hygiene problems. Ugandans have very strong minds, so that I appreciate about Uganda.
Yes, to tell the truth, yes. Yes, I understand really, but what Benja is trying to say is right. On the percentage, Ugandans are actually still trying to do. That's what I love. Every society has got its own challenges, but the percentage also really matters. All societies have got their own dynamics and their play, but it comes back to the degree at which we are looking at issues. I appreciate the Ugandan community wherever you are. Yes, which makes it so negative, but let's come back to a social responsibility. Let's connect with others, but let's set boundaries or create a glass wall, door. Yet, because at the end of it all, we are responsible to own our own boundaries. That's what I would say. But all in all, I really do appreciate the initiative you really put in, sparing your time. I see, Mr. Benja, we've done injustice to you. I've never seen you very comfortable in a car. Probably the topic was quite interesting for you.
Thank God I have a comfortable car.
And then Jovius, thank you for sparing time. It's not easy. And mostly when the sun is out, everyone should be already out. Personally, I would have to go to the Fila Park. There's a gathering, a community of Ugandans. I would have gone. I'm supposed to be there, but I would not take it for granted not to appreciate the people online. Actually, you've really done great work. Those on YouTube, you've really done a tremendous work. Hey, Kalito, I see you. You're doing wonders. Mr. Casilie, Fred, that's really so good. I love your initiatives. Actually, you had some questions which you already had answered somehow in the first encounter. But like I said, let's all create zones that are comfortable also to ourselves before we come in. And then as we go ahead, ask a question. Am I ready for a friendship before I start blaming others for, others for hindering me from my success? Because sometimes it's the problem is us. So I zero this back to, before you blame others in your path of success, identify yourself. After identifying, know the categories of friends. Are they social friends? Then don't fuse social friends with those who are in the other angle, maybe political or into another zone, and then you expect to get wonders. No, let each category be. It goes back to Benja. Don't feel uncomfortable for topics like this, because inside you, your friends are not the same in all angles. You categorize them, so they should not feel uncomfortable. They should be even happy that those who are footballers, they will like you in that angle. Those who are into the line of economics, yes, you can juggle with life like that, because this topic comes back to us that it's not only economical, but also the social aspect. Benji oyinza okuba oyagala kubeera mukubi bwa mupiira wadde emyaka gikuyiseeko. Then deal with the people in the Euro tournament. Make it happen in your dreams. But otherwise, we do appreciate whoever has been online, our different platforms, and those who are hidden in their sphere or in their angle where they feel Kivuram, you can always inbox us, suggest more in topics you feel you need to be handled. Euroforum is there to answer or to share. And by sharing, we connect with everyone who is on Euroforum in different countries. That's why we say we bring in different people so that they share their own views in their different communities. And then we see. But the topic of discussion today was really so interesting that it's the same almost everywhere, the friend zone. Otherwise, my dear friends, why don't you allow me to say goodbye for now?
Smoggy,
unless you have the last remark.
I wanted to just make a closing statement. I'm calling upon all Ugandans and friends of Ugandans to participate in these two events I'm going to talk about, because these events are initiated by our own people and they are meant to better their lives both socially and mentally and economically. Our same people in our communities. We have in Belgium on the 3rd of June, that is next weekend, we have a barbecue and a barbecue party. And this party has been going on every year for the last 6 years. So this is the 7th barbecue, and every year, either end of May or beginning of June, we come together, Ugandans from Holland, from the Netherlands and Belgium, and we come together in a very nice ambience, and then we talk. We've made friends from this kind of event, and some of us have even made contacts that are business contacts or different kind of contacts. So let's get involved in each other's lives. Let's just come and socialize. You never know who you bump into, maybe an old schoolmate or a soulmate or a friend that you'll never forget or things like that.
You talked about soulmate. Jovia was so happy. Jovia, any last remark as we go ahead? Because
this one, the other event is from the 30th to the 2nd of July. From the 30th of June to the 2nd of July, it's going to be in Stockholm. That is the Eurocranes tournament. It's going. Eurocranes Association brings these countries together. Ugandans who live in Denmark, Ugandans who live in Belgium, Ugandans who live in Norway, Ugandans who live in Finland, Ugandans who live in the Netherlands, Ugandans who live in Sweden, and Ugandans who live, which country have I? Oh yeah, 6. And Germany, 7.
Oh yeah.
We come together on this one event, and this event has different things. We have football, we have barbecue, we have even a dance party, which happens on the Saturday. So we play football on Friday, and on Saturday, then at night, we go and dance. And then on Sunday, we go and have a barbecue before everybody leaves and goes home. So just book a hotel, buy a ticket, come to Stockholm, and let's socialize.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Benja. Like I said, tomorrow we shall be having Mr. Chibarama We shall be reflecting on the issues which are happening back home, where we shall be looking about the entertainment bit of it and the political side of it back home. You know, with Euroforum, we look at very many places, but we know where we come from. That's why we come with Mr. Chibarama to give us a reflection way back home from the updates which are happening. It will be tomorrow, it will be a Luganda show. But Jovia, unless you have any last remark, we shall call it a wrap up.
Thank you for this show. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for your views, Mogi. Thank you for your views, Benjamin. I believe I have learned a thing today, a thing or two today. And yeah, I hope our viewers have enjoyed it and have learned also something. Yeah, we keep in touch. Do not be afraid of evaluating your friendships and making them better, because that's life. We are supposed to make the best of it and not just expect from it. Yeah, thank you.
That's really amazing. Yes, I will finally just say something very little, that friends, we choose friends. So we have the right to let go. Like the word goes, friend, it ends with an E-N-D. If it's not in the right path of your direction, you can end it. But all in all, a true friend never gets in your way unless you happen to be going down. That's when they can chip in. Goodbye for now, and thank you for being with us.